This is one of the more famous photographs of a cowboy in the Old West. We see a mounted cowboy looking over his herd of cattle, wearing gloves and holding a lariat. In the distance, you can see two other cowboys on their horses. The herd is between them, grazing the short grasses of the plains. From this perspective, you could feel like you were there, another cowboy doing his job. From the cowboy's pose, arm held out, rope in hand, there is a hint of excitement to come, the moment before action. This photo was designed to transport you there, to make you feel like you were herding cattle. It was a pair of photos called a stereograph, printed on a card that you would place in a stereoscope to view, the two photos creating an illusion of a three-dimensional image. It was taken by a camera with two lenses, so the photographer knew that people would be experiencing his work as three-dimensional. This stereograph was copyrighted and published in 1902 by the Keystone View Company, one of the largest producers of stereographs. The title for this photo was Round Up on the Sherman Ranch, Geneseo, Kansas, USA. Although sometimes the cards would misspell Geneseo as Genesee. Stereographs and stereoscopes were very popular in the United States, and this is one of the photos that helped create the image of the Western cowboy in people's imaginations. This was a popular image, and the stereograph would be reprinted several times, sometimes with a new description on the back. Here are 3 of those descriptions. You can pause the video if you want to read each of them. The first one focuses on the Great Plains, cattle herds, and cowboy life. The second emphasizes the geography of Kansas, and the third talks about the transformation from Native Americans and buffalo on the plains to agriculture and cattle. The town of Geneseo, Kansas lies on the northern edge of Rice County, just south of Ellsworth County, Kansas. Between 1900 and 1910, there were about 500 people living in Geneseo. Today, there is about 236 people living there. Much of the Sherman Ranch was located in the southeastern portion of Ellsworth County, and Geneseo was probably the closest town to where the photographer set up his camera. The Sherman Ranch was named after the manager and one of the owners, Merritt Sherman. At its height, the ranch contained 40,000 acres. A newspaper article in 1902 boasted that the Mammoth Sherman Ranch in Kansas has a fence line more than 100 miles long. It was one of the biggest ranches north of Texas. Merritt Sherman grew up on a farm in New York and was educated at Cornell University. He became a teacher for a few years, but at the age of 29 in 1883, he went to Arizona and got into the cattle business. After 3 years in Arizona, he became involved with a ranch in Mexico, owned by his uncle, L.H. Lapham. In 1894, Sherman became interested in purchasing land in Kansas for a new ranch. He at first rented, but with help from his uncle, who became part owner, he began buying land from 1896 through 1898. Sherman bought up other ranches, notably the Merritt and Clawson ranches. The Sherman Ranch was more than just a cattle operation. It also raised a number of hogs and different crops, like wheat, corn, and alfalfa. The railroad shipping point was at Crawford, Kansas, east of Geneseo in Rice County. In 1932, Sherman retired and moved to California. The Sherman Ranch was slowly broken up and sold. Merritt Sherman died in 1937. He was 83 years old. I will leave you with a description of the Sherman Ranch that was published the same year as the photo, 1902. Another big ranch in the West is the Sherman Ranch near Geneseo, Kansas. This ranch is conducted by Mr. M. Sherman. It can be reached by the Missouri Pacific Railway. This ranch covers 40,000 acres, 5,000 acres of which is in wheat, and 4,000 in corn and other forage crops. 2,000 calves are born on the ranch every year, while 3,000 steers are fattened and shipped to the markets. The lands of the ranch are divided into pastures, something unusual for so large a tract. That is, cattle which are to be fattened quickly are given the best grassland, that nearest the lowlands, while those that are being held over for some time are given the poorest pasture in which to graze. There are 62 square miles in the Sherman farm, A telephone system connects the various ranch houses. There is a general manager and an expert for every department. Mr. Sherman employs 30 to 50 men the year round. These are paid $20 a month and board. During harvest season, they are paid a bonus of $5 to keep them on his place instead of going to work for other farmers during the rush and high wages of the wheat cutting season. He has started a plan of giving his hired men 2 hours off at midday during the summer, a plan which is being generally adopted on all the immense farms of the Southwest.